Hey gang, I wasn't sure what to make a video about today, so I just thought, hey, why don't I just show you how I clear my head and get clear on a lot of things. When you're trying to be an entrepreneur, or you are an entrepreneur and you don't have someone telling you what to do, you have to tell yourself what to do. And typically when you have a 9 to 5, you show up to work and someone has like a list of things that you gotta do. And maybe it's the same 10 things you do every day with your 9 to 5. You show up and you do the same 10 things, like boom, 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 same thing every day, right? For some people, it becomes monotonous. For other people, they love it. It's great. As an entrepreneur, you're constantly coming up with new things to do. There may be a few of the same things you have to do every day, boom, 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 but for the most part, it's like new things every day. And so, like for example, one of my best techniques for knowing what to do each day is the night before. So tonight, I always plan tomorrow tonight. So you always want to plan tomorrow tonight. That's what I do. I got that lesson from Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn's passed that on to many entrepreneurs, and many entrepreneurs swear by it. If there's one of the best lessons of entrepreneurship ever, it would be to plan tomorrow today. That way, when I wake up in the morning, I just grab my list and I go for it. Do I get everything done on the list? No, but I make sure to circle the most important thing, the MIT, the most important thing, and I make sure I get that done. And if I don't get that done, you best believe that the following day I definitely get it done. So here's a great example of some things I wrote down and I had to get done. It doesn't matter what they actually are because they're constantly changing, so I won't even go into what they are, but I write down what I gotta do, and then I wake up in the morning, I grab my paper, I start with my MIT, and I get to work. And then one of my favorite things to do is in the evening, so it's 8 o'clock now, I usually put my phone away, but I was like, oh, I gotta make this video, so I'll make this video. But I usually put my phone away and I just sit with a big book and pencil or pen, sorry, and I just brainstorm everything that's going on in my life, and I circle it all. Because if you don't, these are all like big important things and things that I have to consider, things I need to get an answer to, things I need to do. And if I just leave them up in my head, I'm gonna forget about them, or I'm gonna feel overwhelmed, I'm gonna feel stressed. But by putting them all here and getting crystal clear, it immediately creates a sense of calm. It's like, oh yeah, that's a decision. Oh, I can do that. Oh yeah, that, no problem. And then sometimes I even get really excited. I'm like, oh, here I have two options. I'm hiring a maid, a house cleaner. I'm like, oh, what are my options? Okay, I have this person, I have this person. I have a bunch of people applied. I narrowed it down to two people. So I have an exciting decision to make. Who am I going to pick for my house cleaner? And I'm thinking through, like, hey, well, what if I hire one but I don't like them? Can I hire the other one, right? So I'm considering like these contingency processes as well. So big business ideas, like things to get rid of. That's a big one. Things to get rid of, like not just stuff. I mean, physical stuff is one thing. This is, by the way, came with the house. I don't own many things. Everything I own fits in my car. But I mean, stuff like maybe certain monthly subscriptions I'm paying for, certain softwares I can get rid of, or business debts, like certain agreements I've made with someone. Maybe I can end that, and maybe I can just pay them off, or whatever it is. I'm just trying to get rid of stuff so I can just be super clear and straightforward with my one business, and not try and take on other things. Taking on other things, like it's a downfall for a lot of entrepreneurs. They say yes to a lot of things. It's very difficult to say no as an entrepreneur, because so many opportunities come your way when you're moving forward, and it's easy to say, yeah, I'll do that, yeah, I'll do that, yeah, I'll do that, yeah, I'll do that, especially when there's price tags attached, or there's money attached. You can get something for it. It's difficult to say no and leave a lot of money on the table. So you have to really pick your battles and decide, like, am I gonna do that thing even though it brings in a bit of money, or am I better off saying no to that and just focus on, rather than winning that battle and getting a bit of money, focus on the war, focus on the big picture, focus on like the long-term vision. And if you're making decisions, if you're making short-term decisions, I mean, the best short-term decision is go get a 9 to 5. Best short-term decision, go get 9 to 5, hands down. Why? Because you show up at the job and within an hour you're getting paid. The next hour you get paid. The next hour you get paid. It's guaranteed. Best short-term decision ever. Is the pay high? No, not at all. So that really doesn't play into your long-term game, if your long-term game is to accumulate wealth and then do something with that wealth. So the long-term decision is like, okay, I'm not going to get the 9 to 5 now. In the meantime, I'll just be broke. I'll live on ramen noodles or whatever it is, live on potatoes and rice, and I'll focus on the long game. I'll focus on closing high-ticket deals. I'll focus on creating a high-ticket course and selling the high-ticket course, or whatever it is. You know, maybe it's starting that business. Maybe it's taking a loan out and starting that business. Whatever it is, there's a difference between taking long-term decisions and taking short-term decisions. Massive difference. So what I'm planning out here is like constantly planning for the future, so that I can optimize the now. So I can feel more calm, cool, and collected now. Because if I don't plan it out, if I don't put it on paper, I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and just wing it. No, that's not a great recipe for success. I've tried that. I tried waking up and winging it for 25 years. Didn't really do much for me. Once I started planning tomorrow today, then it's the greatest hack ever. It's something about like writing out what you're gonna do the following day and going to bed, letting your subconscious mind work on it. And I'll have dreams about what I've written down, right? So my subconscious mind's definitely working on it. I'll have dreams about what I've written down, and I'll wake up and like sometimes I'll even be like, oh, I've already like accomplished that in my dream. Now I just got to go execute on what I just envisioned, you know, last night or this morning as I was asleep. So there's something about that. And then there's also something about waking up and not having to make any decisions. All you have to do is wake up and just go through the habit of going through the list. So I don't need to decide like, should I be productive today? Or should I work on my business today? Or should I slack off today? Or should I focus today? It's like the decision's already made for me. I made it the night before when I had 20/20 hindsight on how that day went. So like how many times have you done something and then you go watch yourself back and how you did it? You look at your technique, or you listen to what you'd said or something, and you're like, oh, I could have done that so much better, right? Well, at the end of each day, you have that 20/20 hindsight on your day. You can look back and reflect on your day and see how the day went. You can say, oh, wow, I spent so much time on Instagram, or wow, I spent so much time gossiping, or I spent so much time watching dumb things on Netflix, or I spent way too much time driving around doing errands. Whatever it is, you have that 20/20 hindsight on the day in the evening if you take the time to reflect. If you don't, get lost in your phone or something, you can take the time to reflect. You do have that 20/20 hindsight on how the day went. Then you can just, based on that hindsight, based on that feedback that you're giving yourself, you can say, okay, tomorrow instead I'm going to do this. And then you write out what you're going to do, and you wake up and you attempt to do it. And at first it may be weird, because it's not a habit yet, but it eventually becomes a habit, and there's no way of living without it eventually. It's just like the smartest thing to do is plan tomorrow today. So that's all I wanted to say. Just want to let you know like a bit of my evening routine, how I wind down. And once I get everything out on paper, I can find myself, I can sleep so easily. I sleep instantly because I've already gotten everything out. If I don't write stuff down, I'm laying there, I'm thinking about things. Half the time, 90% of the time people can't get to sleep is because they're thinking about stuff. If they just wrote it down, it's such people underestimate typically the power of expression. And the thing about expression is that when you're not expressing, you're suppressing. And when you're suppressing, guess what happens to suppression? It turns into depression. And depression turns into disease. And disease turns into disintegration. So if you want to reverse that downward spiral, you want to focus on expression. I really truly believe that suppression, which is the opposite of expression, suppression is at the root cause of most diseases, most stress in people's lives, because they're not expressing themselves in healthy ways. People can express themselves on Facebook gossiping and express themselves by yelling and things like that, sure, but I think learning how to express yourself in healthy ways is a very healthy thing, not only for you to do, but a healthy thing for other people around you to see, because whether you know it or not, you're a role model for others. So just some thoughts before I go to bed tonight. Yes, the sun is still up. I do go to bed around 8 p.m. usually, and I wake up around 5 a.m. depending on how much exercise I've done the day before. So that's it for now, guys. I will see you in the next video. Peace out, much love. And today is like, I don't forget, day 6 or something of making a video every day for 30 days. So on track to hit this goal. And the reason I'm staying on track is because I made a vow that if I miss a day during these 30 days, I have to donate $50 to the Ronald McDonald Foundation. That's the last foundation I ever want to freaking donate money to. So that's it for now. Peace out, much love. Ronald McDonald, you ain't getting your money today, man. No, not today. Ciao.